All right. Hey, everyone. It's Dr. Susan Peirce Thompson here, live on YouTube, and it's Ask Susan Anything time. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Bright Year, Bright You 2024. It's our big festivities of the new year here at Brightline Eating. And we have food freedom videos that we're releasing. There's three of them, and then a fourth one that explains the Brightline Eating Bootcamp 2.0 program. And the first two videos are already out. I'm curious if you've seen them. Put into the comments if you've seen those videos. Put in the comments if this is your first YouTube Live. I'm guessing for a lot of you it will be. It's my very first YouTube Live. First time ever. I'm a newbie here. And I'm excited to be here with you. I think this is going to be fun. There are things about it that are way better than Facebook Lives. And I'm just excited about it. I'm excited that anyone can watch and participate. You don't have to be a member to participate. I'm excited that the link for it is available in advance. So it just allows people to sort of grab the link, put it in their calendar, make sure that they know where they're gonna be. If we schedule these YouTube lives in advance, it just having a link in advance makes it easier for you to attend. Why would you want to attend anyway? Who cares? What's the point? Well, this is all about food freedom. It's all about losing our excess weight in 2024. It's all about getting the vibrancy and health and well-being and the feeling of alignment and being on the beam that Living Bright gives us. If you're new to Brightline Eating, I would love to hear that. Put down into the comments if this is your first live experience with me ever. I would love to hear that. If you do Brightline Eating, I would love to hear that. Put into the comments, how's it going for you? I would love to hear how your Bright journey is going. I bet we have a lot of people that are coming back to Brightline Eating. Here's what happens with Brightline Eating. It tends to work so well at the beginning, and I warn people about this. It'll work so well that it'll dupe you into thinking you can just kind of wander away and leave and you'll be fine. And then people do that. They wander away and leave, and then they go, "Oh, geez, newsflash, I'm not getting the results that I was getting when I was actually, staying close to the mothership and doing Brightline Eating. So maybe I'll get back to it now." And they come back, and that happens a lot. So let me know in the chat. I want to hear, comment down below if you're coming back to Brightline Eating, and if recommitting to Brightline Eating, maybe for the second or third time, maybe for the first time ever, like maybe you realize, you know what, I didn't initially come all the way in and sit all the way down the way we talk about in Brightline Eating. I think that's a Joanne Campbell Rice saying. I love that. Come all the way in and sit all the way down. Maybe you're realizing you never did that the first time around. So anyway, I'm here to answer your questions. I would love to hear if you've watched video 1. I would love to hear if you've watched video 2. Just let me know in the comments, and definitely let me know if you have any questions about why is it so hard to lose weight and keep it off, right? Like in videos 1 and 2, I talk a lot about how most programs are designed that set us up for failure, right? When they encourage us to keep eating the foods that are hijacking our brains. I talk about dopamine downregulation. I talk about leptin resistance, because that's my background is as a brain sciences professor. I'm a PhD in brain and cognitive sciences, and I serve on the faculty at the University of Rochester in brain and cognitive sciences. And as I teach people how their brain works in relation to food, I teach them why it is that they've experienced these overpowering food cravings, right? These cravings that they have a hard time resisting. That's dopamine downregulation. And it's caused by eating too much sugar and flour, too many ultra processed foods. I talk about leptin resistance, which gives you the insatiable hunger, that feeling of like, oh my gosh, I could eat a whole holiday meal and then still want to eat more and more, like more dessert, more snacks afterwards. Why am I still eating? I know I'm stuffed, but the elbow still wants to bend, the mouth still wants to chew. What is that? It's this insatiable hunger. No matter how much we eat, it's still not satisfied. So that's caused by leptin resistance, which is caused by high baseline insulin levels, high triglycerides, and high inflammation, not just systemic inflammation, but inflammation in the brain, in this little area of the brain called the hypothalamus, and actually this little nucleus in the hypothalamus called the ventromedial nucleus of the hypothalamus. And when there's inflammation there, leptin doesn't register. Leptin is the hormone that tells your brain you're done eating, you're full, and you're satiated. It's, you might watch other people's leptin work. You could tell their leptin is working because they haven't even come close to finishing their plate at dinner at a restaurant, and they just kind of stop eating and they just push it aside. They go, oh yeah, I've just had enough. Like I don't know, maybe I had a big lunch or something, but I'm just not hungry anymore. That's their leptin kicking in. It just creates this satiety, this fullness, and they stop eating. If you don't relate to that, if you're not getting that signal, and I'm in the camp that like I don't get that signal, then yeah, bright line eating is for you. So yeah, curious to hear from you. John Norrie says, hi from Avondale Estates, Georgia. 1,287 consecutive bright days. Oh my gosh, congratulations. And Elaine is here. She says, yes, I saw the videos. I've done these lives before. 64 bright days. Congrats. So sweet. Audie and Cindy are here, first time on YouTube Live. I watched the first Food Freedom video this morning. Awesome, Audie. Well, fabulous. Kathy Decker is here for her first live. Amanda Wills is here, first YouTube Live. I've seen the videos. Hi, Amanda. Good to see you, my dear. Susan Faith is here, says it's my first time. Rebecca Dahl-Sups is here. Yes, have watched videos 1 and 2. Awesome, Rebecca. I see a lot of people have watched the videos. If you haven't, notice that there's a link either right above me or maybe right below me. It's got a link that says in the little caption for this video, it gives you the link for where to click to watch the videos. So if you want to go check those out, that's actually, that link will take you to what we call the event page, which is where we'll have the links to the videos. I'm doing a live webinar on goal setting for 2024. That will be on Tuesday, I believe. And all of that information is on the event page, including the times and the links for the other YouTube lives that I'm doing coming up. Brooke Karsnitz says, newish to Brightline Eating, first live event on YouTube for me. Welcome, Brooke. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, look at this. It's the weird time of light in the afternoon. Hold on, let me just close my shades a little bit here so I don't get those weird lives. Lines. Okay. Oh, the little dots. Don't schedule YouTube lives right at the weird afternoon light hour. Oh no. Jenny Partridge is here, says she's done Brightline Eating for 6 years, off for a bit, but back. Jenny, I notice how you put back in all capitals. I can feel the power of that. Welcome back, my dear. Welcome back. Cleary Stone says, I listened to both videos. Great reinforcement. That's awesome. I'm guessing you do Brightline Eating, hence the term reinforcement. That is wonderful. And PB Black says, first YouTube live, just finishing the boot camp. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to be with you like a week from Sunday to tell you all about Bright Lifers. I'm really excited about that. John Ori says, I came all the way in and sat all the way down and have never left or slipped. Good for you. And you know what? If you just stay focused, if you don't let yourself get complacent or take it for granted, if you just stay grateful and find ways to be of service in the Brightline Eating community, you never, ever, ever have to slip or wander away or get lost or confused. You can keep this gift and just make it your way of life forever and ever. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're intending to do. So that is awesome. Thank you for sharing your unstoppability with us. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. Lori Allgood says, hi, Susan. Hi, Lori. And Heather Cabrera says, yes, I saw the videos. It's my first live. I really appreciated the picture of the 4 white powders. Isn't that eye-opening, Heather, to think about it that way? To think, hey, y'all, aren't sugar and flour made just like heroin and cocaine? I mean, really, what's the difference? It's very, very similar. We're taking these harmless plants and then extracting that inner essence and then refining and purifying that into a fine white powder. They're not foods, everybody. They're drugs. They really are. They're drugs. They're made just like heroin and cocaine. Tammy Miller says, I have a trip planned for the wine country in March. We have a wine train scheduled with 3 meals and wine tasting. I'm somewhat okay without the wine, but the food. I spent a lot of money. So this is an interesting thing, Tammy. Can I share my thoughts on this with you? I'm guessing you want my thoughts because you put it into the box. So there's a fallacy called the sunk cost fallacy, where human beings, it's just a way human beings tend to think. We think, I've invested a lot in this. I've sunk a lot of cost into it, right? And I want to get my money's worth, even if we know that this course of action will make us happy and this course of action will make us unhappy, but we paid money for that course of action. We still feel like we should take it to get our money's worth. But if it's going to make us unhappy and the money is spent either way, it's absolute lunacy to do something that will make you unhappy when what you want is to be happy just because you spent money on the unhappy path. Do you see it? The money's spent either way. So starting now, choose happy over unhappy, right? And the honest truth is being bright is what will make you happy. And, eating all that stuff is going to make you feel miserable afterwards. So yeah, good luck with that. And I hear you that it feels like a mental struggle, but you might want to do some Googling on the sunk cost fallacy, because that's kind of what's going on in your mind right now, Tammy. And Tammy also said, I'm new and I'm starting with this next boot camp. I'm so happy for you, Tammy. That is exciting. Welcome to Bright Line Eating. Welcome. Mary Tudela says, I've seen the new videos. I'm day 70 in the boot camp. Awesome, Mary. I was telling someone else just now, I think I'll be visiting with you a week from Sunday to talk all about the Bright Lifers, which is coming. Thundercat says, perpetual day oneer. Thundercat, I shot the vlog this week for you. Did you see the vlog? It's called Day One Again and Again and Again. That's what it's called. Again and again, just 2 agains. Yeah, you might want to go check it out. You can see all the vlogs, which I put out one every week for free at brightlineeating.com. Go to brightlineeating.com and just click on vlog. And the current one is called Day One Again and Again. So if you're wondering how to get out of that terrible Groundhog Day of over and over again, restarting and restarting, this week's vlog is for you. Janine Billins said, that's what happened to me. Bright July 2nd to August 21st, then wandered away, but I've been bright again since December 8th. Welcome back, Janine. Welcome back. Rebecca Dulsups says, yes, I was duped into thinking I could relax a little over the holidays. I've broken my crystal vase and I'm so concerned that I will not be able to put it back together. So Rebecca, I've done that. And here's the honest truth is it can be hard to get it back. It can be hard to get it back. And whatever that path ends up looking like for you, whether you get it back right away or whether it literally takes you years and years and years and years to get back to the place of solidity that you were in before, what will ultimately happen is you can have a diamond vase, not just a crystal vase. And if you're new and you're like, what's the vase? What are they talking about? In the boot camp, in the Bright Line Eating boot camp, there's a video where after a few weeks, I know that a lot of people who've been really doing it steadily, they're starting to feel like it's too easy, like it's literally eerily easy. And I tell them, yes, it's easy. And it's easy because you're doing it. It's easy because you're committed to it. And if you just keep doing what you're doing, it will stay easy. And don't you dare underestimate what a gift that is. Like, remember, this is a problem you've been trying to solve for most of your whole adult life, maybe even your whole life all the way back to childhood. It's now solved. Don't take that for granted. Stay close, keep doing it, keep being grateful for it, and you can keep this gift. I say the gift is so precious that it's like a Waterford crystal vase, and the gift is yours now. It's been given to you. You have it. Don't juggle with it, because when you juggle with it, it slips and breaks and falls, and when it breaks, it never goes back quite the same way, right? It's just harder after that, right? Okay, so that's where the crystal vase recovery idea comes from in bright line eating, right? A crystal vase is when from the beginning you're bright, you stay bright, and you get a crystal vase. Don't juggle with it. But once it's broken, and I've broken my crystal vase, right? So once it's broken, what then? Well, go to the bright line eating page, and there's a vlog. If you click on vlog on the bright line eating website, and then you go to the search box, type in diamond vase. Because what happens is, after more research, you can reach a place where you know to an even deeper level that you have food addiction, that you need to do a bright line style approach, or you will never, ever be happy and free. And even if you were to slip for a bit, you know how to get back. And you reach a point where deviating even a little bit doesn't even seem attractive anymore, because you just want to hold on to your peace. The diamond vase becomes so precious to you that you just don't even get tempted to get super sexy with your food, or try to game the system to get bigger quantities by using the one plate rule or anything like that. You just don't even want to anymore. So, yeah, Rebecca, I just want to say, I don't know what kind of journey you're in for. It can be hard after you break the crystal vase. But if you just commit to being unstoppable and get into the membership, do the boot camp, do our courses in sequence, do the Bright Roadmap, you will find that at some point the penny will drop, and you will be done with that kind of eating, and you will just be grateful to be bright, and you will have a diamond vase. So, Marlene Baldwin McCann is here. Amen, Susan, 2016 boot camper, here with hubby. I'm back. Welcome back, Marlene. Welcome back. Good to see you, my dear. Kendall Summers is back too. I'm back, been back since October 15th. So sweet. Welcome back, Kendall. Jenny Partridge is here, resumed for the umpteenth time. So sad moderation just does not work. Jenny, I'm laughing with you, my dear. Back for the umpteenth time. So sad moderation does not work. It sure seems like it should work, doesn't it? And I'm just laughing with you because I've tried that experiment so many times. It just seems like it should work. It seems like it should work. We're so smart. We just love ourselves so much. We feel like we should be able to just eat in moderation, that intuitive eating. It just doesn't work for some of us. Oh, Sue Craig coming back for 2024 to renew a great success. You got this, Sue Craig. You've got this. Tammy Miller, the wine country gal, says, my whole life is built around food. We are big foodies and go to a lot of new restaurants and love trying new foods. Our trips are always based around food. Food equals fun for me. Even when home, we look for new restaurants to visit and new food to try. I also love baking. It's my favorite pastime. I'm so scared for next week, but also so excited. Tammy, I need to tell you, sweetheart, here's what I've found. Here's what I found. I used to be like that too. And what I found is it doesn't work for me in this new way of life. And I know people who've been as deep into foodie culture as you are right now, who have given it up and found lives that are richer, fuller, happier on the other side of it. That's what I've found. I don't bake anymore. I don't make sexy recipes anymore. My life is fuller and richer for it. I have given up that aspect, and it felt like an amputation. It felt like lopping off a part of me, and I had to grieve it. I had to grieve it deeply. And I don't know where you are, Tammy, on the food addiction susceptibility scale. I think you really should take that quiz. I'm curious if you could let me know if you've taken the quiz. I'm a 10 plus plus plus, meaning when I answer those 5 questions, I put 5 out of 5 on every one of them without even thinking about it. Like I'm 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5. In our parlance, that's a 10 plus plus. Like the score comes out 10, but we just kind of wink at each other and go, yeah, that's 10 plus plus. Uh, and that lifestyle of a foodie is just not, it doesn't work for me because it's like being a recovering alcoholic and being a bartender. Like it's not healthy for me. I've got no business being around that. Um, okay. So anyway, I know that that's probably not at all what you want to hear. I'm curious what your thoughts are. All right, so some of you are having a hard time finding the link to the event page. So we've now pinned it to the top of the chat thread as well. The link is ble.life/brightu. But it's now pinned to the top of the chat thread, so you can find it easily. Kim Rose says, my main question is, can bright line eating help to get gut bacteria under control? I believe a big part of my insane sugar and carb cravings is because I grew up on antibiotics, but I want bright line eating to work for me. SIBO and Candida overgrowth are cause cravings too, I mean. Yeah, my guess is that it will help tremendously. So our data show that in the first 8 weeks of bright line eating over the course of the boot camp, on average, people's hunger and cravings go down, 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 down steadily till they have little to no hunger or cravings anymore. And that's a sign of the gut healing, the brain healing. So give it a try, Kim. I think it'll work really well for you. Kimberly Jacobs has a semaglutide drug question. What are your thoughts on addressing the addiction with semaglutide versus bright line eating? Great question, Kimberly. So the data show that the results are pretty comparable with bright line eating versus semaglutide drugs. Although people lose weight faster initially with bright line eating, a lot faster in the first couple of months, like twice as fast. But at around 6 months, the weight loss is around equivalent. And after about a year and 2 years, the weight loss is equivalent. So, and the results are very comparable as well in terms of the reduction of cravings and the reduction in hunger. So you'll get comparable results going the 2 ways. One major difference is the cost, right? Bright line eating is ridiculously inexpensive compared to semaglutide drugs. It's about 90% less money for a year of bright line eating as compared to a year of semaglutide drugs. And then also there's big differences in the side effect profiles, right? Semaglutide is a drug and it's got side effects. And some of those side effects include gastrointestinal side effects, potential for thyroid cancer or thyroid disorders, things like that. Whereas the side effects of bright line eating are better energy, more happiness and well-being, less depression, fewer days of poor mental health, more flourishing. So, that said, I really understand people who want to use a semaglutide drug to give them some support. The challenge is that with a semaglutide drug, when you stop taking the drug, you gain back the weight pretty fast. So you need to either be prepared to be on it for life, or you need to have a backup plan or a lifestyle intervention that you're doing in addition. So one option, if you wanted to do the semaglutide drugs, is to do bright line eating as your diet and lifestyle intervention so that if and when you want to wean off those semaglutide drugs, if only because you don't want to be paying more than $1,000 a month anymore, you then would have bright line eating. So those are some of my thoughts. Deborah M says, SPT, your podcast interview with Jillian Michaels was awesome. You are a true expert in your material and in how you interact and present. Rosemary Moore says, yes, I loved your podcast with Jillian Michaels. Thank you so much. I never really listened to my podcast interviews, but I did listen to that one recently. And yeah, I really enjoyed meeting Jillian Michaels. She's amazing. She's really amazing. Selket Miles says, can you tell us more about boot camp? Absolutely. So the Bright Line Eating Boot Camp 2.0 is a 10-week course, and it's a group program. There'll be several hundred people in the program. It's entirely online. So there's videos that you watch of me. It starts off with a very intensive planning and preparation process that's going to be the most time intensive part of the boot camp. And you get that at the beginning because you have to learn all about the system. It's going to take you about 5.5 hours to get through that planning and preparation process. But you get a whole week to do it, right? You have plenty of time to do it. And you can take longer if you need. And then each week there's a module that comes out that will address things like how to eat out, how to travel, how to feed a family, how to navigate social situations, how to handle. We have a few bonuses in the boot camp too, 3 of them. One of the bonuses is about breaking through your inner resistance so that you don't self-sabotage anymore. It's the Break Through Your Resistance Roadmap. Super helpful. We also have a resume bonus that teaches you how to inoculate yourself against relapse and what to do if you do fall off track for a bit, right? So that you have a plan for what if you haven't stuck to your plan? What's the plan then? We also have a bonus around living a full, flourishing life with friends and family. And actually, oh my gosh, who is the Tammy Miller? That bonus in boot camp, the full flourishing life bonus, will give you some guidance on how to talk with your partner and so forth about what you're doing now. Lisa Hawk says, I did Bright Line Eating in 2020. I lost all my excess weight, but I didn't go all the way in and sit down. Welcome back, Lisa. You know you're in the right place. Rhonda Kersey says, I'm coming back to Bright Line Eating after most of the year and lots of life endings. I've probably gained all my weight back, plus some, saving my way in for January 1st. It's my 3rd time around, and I'm ready to come all the way in and sit all the way down. I'm so miserable. I've watched both videos. Rhonda Kersey, welcome back, my dear. Welcome back. You're in the right place. You're in the right place. So much love. People are mentioning that they loved this week's vlog, which is about day 1 again and again. If you feel like you're on the merry-go-round, the Groundhog Day of day 1 again and again. Gina Vadnais says, I loved the vlog this week. It really spoke to me. And Denise A also said that day 1 again and again was so powerful for me. I had not accepted that I'm a food addict. I was approaching this, even though successfully, as a diet, starting over and in the first tough few days. Welcome back, Denise. Welcome back. Tazalarium says, I have a question. Is cheese addictive? Hi from Madrid. Hi, Tazalarium in Madrid. Welcome. Welcome. Very good question. You know, it is for some people. It has casomorphins in it that have a bit of an opiate effect. Casomorphins bind to the endogenous opioid receptors. And in Bright Line Eating, we can have cheese, but we weigh and measure it. And for most people, that is enough. That if as long as they're not eating unlimited amounts of cheese, it can be okay for them. But some people need to give it up. And I also want people to know I never recommend melting cheese. I don't think melting cheese for some reason makes it more addictive. So I wouldn't recommend that. Debbie Johnson says, I'm a sugar addict and I need a mindset change. I've lost weight through Mounjaro this past year, but I'm leery of going off and gaining the weight back. My A1C is great. So Debbie, you're on Mounjaro now, it sounds like. So for those who don't know, Mounjaro is a tirzepatide, which is a first cousin to the semaglutide drugs, Wegovy and Ozempic. And Mounjaro will decrease appetite and also reduce food cravings. So while you're on it, Debbie, it would be great for you to do Bright Line Eating, do the boot camp, and then join Bright Lifers and really, really commit to it with your whole heart and do it by the book. And then slowly wean off your Mounjaro while you've got your Bright Line Eating habits in place. And stay in touch with me and my team because I would love to know how that works for you. I think that bright line eating could be a very effective plan for people who want to wean off those weight loss drugs. Because what else are you going to do? The cravings are going to come back, but not if you're doing bright line eating. Not if you're doing bright line eating. Cheryl wants to add her 2 cents into the gut conversation on the gut bacteria question. She says bright line eating really helps my Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease. Thank you, Cheryl, for letting us know. Richard Pozzuto says, I started bright line eating in 2017, and by 2018, I had lost 103 pounds. It transformed me. I kept it off, but I strayed because I wanted to do martial arts, so I skipped bright line maintenance and did not sit all the way down. I started over a few times since my original weight loss. I'm finally learning to sit all the way down, went berserk after losing my taste and smell with COVID, and binged 50 pounds back on. I just resumed last week. Richard, welcome back. Welcome back. It sounds like you're really committed this time, and I think the timing of this boot camp might be perfect for you. What do you think? Is it time to get into the boot camp and then into Bright Lifers and really, really do the programs in sequence? Follow the Bright Roadmap. Kimberly Jacobs has a semaglutide question. Thank you so much for answering my question on the semaglutide. Everyone around me seems to be getting on it, but it doesn't feel right for me. I really needed help knowing why and how to say it to them. Kimberly, I've got a couple of great resources out that you might want to check out on semaglutide drugs just to reinforce the things that I said to you and maybe fill in some of the gaps a little bit more. One is a vlog that I put out. So if you go to brightlineeating.com and click on vlog and search on any of the terms, Ozempic, Wegovy, semaglutide, that vlog will come up. And I think it's on I think it's called The Pros and Cons of Semaglutide Drugs for Weight Loss. And then the other resource just came out a couple days ago. It's a guest blog article that I wrote for the Food Revolution Network. And it's called Are Weight Loss Drugs are semaglutide drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy safe and effective for weight loss? And you can find that at the Food Revolution Network. So yeah, you might enjoy those articles. That one is cited to the hilt. It's got links to all of the research and all of the things that I say are cited meticulously. So you might really enjoy that. Karen says, I'm resuming January 1st. I did the boot camp 5 years ago, and I believe I failed due to continuing to exercise combined with not enough calories. As a plant-based eater, no animal products, I worry that the weight loss plan will not be enough calories. I struggle to surrender and trust. Are plant-based, nut-based cheeses considered a protein for those who do not do animal products? Should I forget about protein powder if I'm a 10 plus plus on the susceptibility scale? I wonder if 6 ounces of beans 3 times a day would be harmful to my gut. I don't do much soy and I don't want to go heavy on nuts. Karen, it sounds like getting into the boot camp and then getting coaching right away would be really helpful for you. You might be familiar with the brand Complement, spelled Complement, Complement. They have a plant-based protein powder that's made, it's soy-free, and it's made entirely of like almond, chia, mostly pea protein. I think it's like 50% pea protein, but then some other, almond, chia, flax type things. And it's very, very pure. And an ounce of that at breakfast, we count it the same way we do nuts or seeds in terms of the quantity, where 2 ounces equals a protein. And I recommend you don't do a full 2 ounces. I recommend you do 1 ounce. So it would be a half a protein serving at breakfast. And then you would have your other half in some other fashion. And I recommend that you do use that actually every morning as a protein. And maybe the other half being a mix of ground flax and chia seeds. That's something that I do every morning, ground flax and chia seeds, and put that on oatmeal or something like that with a banana. And that combination of the complement protein powder with the ground flax and chia seeds It's a lot of protein, it's a lot of satiety, it's a lot of nutrition. It should go really well for you. I can't speak to all plant-based cheeses because no, some of them are really junky, right? So that like Daiya cheese, Daiya, it's basically oil and potato starch. Like it's freaking awful. It's like not healthy at all. Then there's other ones that are like the Kite Hill products. They've got a ricotta cheese that's just made out of almonds and enzymes, and it's phenomenal. It's like ricotta. It's incredible. It's a decent amount of protein, very clean ingredients. I eat pumfu a lot. Pumfu is like tofu, but it's made out of pumpkin seeds. So those are some suggestions. Many plant-based cheeses count as proteins, but you got to read the ingredients because if starch and oil are in the first three ingredients, you don't want to eat them. Um, but Karen, yeah, I suggest you get some coaching and just restart. Karen Marie Psychic says, longtime FA member, been watching your videos for years, love them. Hi, Karen, welcome. Nice to meet you. Glad you're enjoying. Jody says, first time YouTube live. It's 5 a.m. in Australia. Oh my goodness. Hello to you down under. How's tomorrow? How's tomorrow? Jody says, I bought your books for myself for Christmas and was interested in learning more, especially about boot camp. I've committed to watching the videos today. What is the roadmap? When you refer to sitting all the way down, what do you mean? Jody, great questions. Great questions. So when we say come all the way in and sit all the way down, what we're talking about is committing wholeheartedly to just following the plan as it is and doing it thoroughly and not holding back. And that doesn't mean not having any resistance, not having any parts of us that have any resistance, but it means addressing the resistance honestly and directly by bringing it up in the online community, maybe journaling about it, taking it to a Bright Line Eating coaching call. It means working the program as outlined thoroughly and wholeheartedly, not holding back or half-assing it, right? That's what we mean. And the fourth video that will come out in the video series will explain the bootcamp in detail, but it's a 10-week online program, that gives you a very, very solid Bright Line Eating foundation. And if you just commit to going through it methodically and again, wholeheartedly, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. That's what successful people do. They just follow the fabulous plan. JFTFP. Just follow the friggin' plan. Princess Pamela's World says, I'm resuming January 1st. I can't wait. I choose happy. So sweet, with tons of exclamation points. So delightful. Jody in Australia again says, how do you sign up to boot camp from Australia? Do you need to be online at specific times? Just getting my head around the time zone difference between the United States and Australia. I'm starting to realize I am a food addict. Hey, Jody, the time zone won't be a problem because it's videos that are recorded that you can watch anytime that is convenient for you. There are coaching calls, but we cycle through making them at different times. And they're all recorded. So some of them will work for you live, some of them won't, and you don't need to be on all of them. You can listen to all of them live at a time. Sorry, you can listen to all of the recordings at a time that works for you. Okay. And Debbie Johnson, back to the Mounjaro question, the weight loss drug question. Thank you. Yes, I do want to do Bright Line Eating so I can go off Mounjaro. Excellent, Debbie. I think that's a great plan. Sylvia Willis says, what is the cost of boot camp? I'm low income. It's $497 and you can do 3 payments of $197. I believe if you pay through PayPal, you can actually do 6 payments with no interest at all. If you do PayPal credit, that's probably the most spaced out way you can do it. Elaine Lane says, Susan, I'm having 6 teeth extracted. how do I stay bright during those days after? Is there a list of all the BLE acronyms in one place? So this book here, on this bright day, which is the fourth book, the most recent book, it just came out a couple months ago. It does have a glossary in the back, that has a lot of the acronyms. And then I think we have a list of the acronyms if you write into customer support. When you're in the boot camp, inside our web portal, there's a little green oval in the bottom right of the screen, and you can just click on that and it will answer all of your questions there. As for your 6 teeth extraction, oh my gosh, that sounds really intense. That sounds really intense. So your bright foods are going to be plain yogurt, applesauce, bone broth is a good idea. It's super high protein. You can do bone broth for a protein. You might want to use your blender and do protein powder. The complement protein powder would be a good thing. You might need to blend a fair bit of your food, like blend cooked vegetables, cook them until they're kind of mushy, and then put them in the blender. That's the kind of thing that you're going to need to do in the days after. You can ask in the online support community, and you can write in for coaching as well from the boot camp. Harold Gretzky says, sunk cost. Hi, Harold. Good to see you. Harold Gretzky says, sunk cost is a great fallacy. Just look at the nuclear plants that have been abandoned. Return on investment from here forward is all that matters. That's right. Cheryl says, I gained back 50 pounds after losing 100 pounds. I have a perfectionist part. I'm trying to set up for a better experience. Cheryl, I have a suggestion for you. First of all, it's so great that you've already identified that your perfectionist part is not helping you. It's trying to help you. That's sweet part. All of our parts are trying to be helpful. And in the boot camp, when you sign up for the boot camp, one of the first things you get access to is that super helpful breakthrough your resistance roadmap bonus. And it will help you work with those resistant parts. And it sounds like this perfectionist part is in that mix. It'll give you a meditation to use, a journaling prompts to use. It will really, really help. I recommend that you start there before you even do the planning and preparation process. And my team just confirmed, yes, if you're approved for PayPal credit, PayPal will allow you up to 6 months to pay off the boot camp with no interest. Carmen Burrows says, I am loving Bright Line Eating. I'm not sure if I missed this in boot camp, but how has Bright Line Eating arrived at the food quantities? In other words, 4 ounces of protein, 10 ounces of vegetables, etc. Great question, Carmen. So the food plan actually comes from sources and then sources and then sources and then sources that can be traced all the way back to Overeaters Anonymous in 1960. So in January of 1960, Overeaters Anonymous was a program that came from Alcoholics Anonymous. And they realized we're kind of like with food, how those people are with alcohol. And they devised a food plan that then, through decades and various different 12-step programs, got modified and refined. And what's brilliant about it is that literally millions of people, millions, over 6 decades of years, in about 8 different 12-step programs, refined and tried the food plan, showed it to tens of thousands of doctors and nutritionists over time. And what worked and didn't work got experimented with. So for example, back in the day, originally, artificial sweeteners were on the plan. But it became known that the people who used them like kept being crazy with food and would binge on diet sodas and gums and all these gum and all these things. So it became clear that artificial sweeteners have to go. People tried versions of the food plan with whole wheat flour, but not white flour, and they didn't lose their weight and they didn't get free. And the quantities as well sort of that's where the food plan ultimately comes from, is all of those 12-step programs. And then I, back in the day, was in, I've been in multiple different 12-step programs and multiple ones for food as well. And I was in them for a long time, and I watched them work for some people and not for others, and the food plans, right? And so when I crafted the Bright Line Eating food plan, I took the best of what I saw from the 12-step experience. Okay. Tammy Miller says, I'm an 8 on the scale. I'm not a fan of veggies at all. What do you recommend to make it through this? The dinners make me nervous. Okay, so it's good to hear that you're an 8 on the scale. You might be able to craft a life then, Tammy, where you keep food as in the kind of role that you've got it in right now. It might work for you. It might work for you. You can try it and see, right? Um, Not being a fan of veggies is not uncommon. People come here having much stronger negative things to say about veggies than I'm not a fan. People come here with all kinds of feelings about veggies. I mean, some people like me, I always loved veggies. You know, that's just, I guess, a freebie that I got. You know, thank God I just never had that issue. But a lot of people have that issue. And what you do, Tammy, is a couple things. First of all, you recognize that your brain and your taste buds will change. So just know that how you feel about veggies today is not how you're going to feel about them in a year. You got to let your brain and your taste buds change. And actually, the taste bud cells are some of the fastest dying and reproducing cells in the whole human body. Every taste bud cell will be dead and gone and replaced by a brand new cell every 2 weeks. So your taste changes very rapidly. That saying it's an acquired taste, yeah, for real. Like starting to eat new ways, you start to prefer those new ways. So trust that. So that's the first thing, is just to know and understand that your dislike of vegetables is temporary. And then it's to be open-minded to asking around and trying different types of vegetable preparations, and relying on the ones that you dislike the least and incorporating new ones and expanding your repertoire. You've got this. You've got this. You must eat your veggies in Bright Line Eating. It is one of the things we do. We eat our vegetables, and it's one of the keys to making it work. Like the whole deal. You absolutely need to eat your veggies. But you don't have to eat the veggies that you hate at all. You get to choose which veggies you eat, and you can expand your repertoire. Um, Sylvia Willis says PayPal credit is only available usable in the US. I'm in Canada. Shoot. Okay. Well, then credit cards, will work. Or there's 12-step options that are free, or save up and do the boot camp next time. Or right before each boot camp, we offer scholarships. We offer 10 full scholarships. We get a lot of applications though, so you can't bank on that. But that's possible too, is wait and apply for a scholarship. The scholarship round is already over for this time. Those are my thoughts, my dear. Those are my thoughts. But where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Suzanne Marie says, hi, everyone. So excited about the boot camp. Annie, my cat, and I are so excited. I know who you are, my dear. I've seen pictures of your cat, Annie. I've read your sweet emails. You know, you're famous among the Bright Line Eating team. Our customer support reps have fallen in love with you and your sweet cat, and it's your attitude. We just love your attitude. You've been communicating with our customer support team for months now with just the best attitude. And yeah, so I just wanted you to know, I know who you are, and you are adored because you're such a dear. You're such a dear. So Suzanne Marie says, hi, everyone. So excited about the boot camp. Annie, my cat, and I are so excited. We can do this. I need to lose 150 pounds. She needs to lose 2 pounds. So sweet. So sweet. Lorena Lake says, in the cookbook, there's a glorious recipe for broccoli soup. I make carrot soup and butternut squash soup in the same way. Cauliflower. Amazing. Thank you, Lorena. Karen DeBow says, oh, let me just say, for all of you out there, Lorena, that's great that you make those soups. I just want to say, don't eat them too often. So in doing the research that I've done on semaglutide drugs, I've been looking into this hormone GLP-1, which is the hormone that's the linchpin of these new weight loss drugs, right? GLP-1 increases fullness, satiety. It also reduces addiction, right? And GLP-1 is released naturally by chewing, mastication. So one of the things that we recommend is make sure you chew your food. You don't want to be eating too much of your food in soups or chilies or protein powder shakes or things like that, right? It's not how you want to be eating most of your food. So eat the baby carrots, eat the apples, uh, chew your food. Isn't that interesting? Karen DeBow says 2023 has been my best year because I finally, after 5 years of struggle, came all the way in. I invested money and time in becoming a bright lifer. I'm in my right-sized body and I finally love myself. Karen, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. After 5 years of struggle, well done, my dear, well done. May you never, ever forget where you've come from. May you just live a life of gratitude and service, soaking it up and giving it back to others every chance you get. I just love you. Congratulations. Yay. Jody is back from Australia, says, Susan, you are speaking to my head and my heart. Thank you so much. I need to get bright and stay bright. Love it, Jody. Boot camp, bright lifers. Never look back. Gwendolyn Williams says, please explain sitting all the way down. Yeah, okay. So once again, sitting all the way down means doing the whole program wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. That's what it means. Like watching all the videos, carving out time to do it, prioritizing it, signing up for it, investing in it, not cutting corners. When parts of you get resistant, bringing that to the community and saying, hey, everybody, I'm having a hard time with this aspect of it. Help me until you work through it. That's what it means. It means not half-assing it. It means not taking shortcuts. It means not thinking, oh, I'll just do it by reading the book by myself on my own. Good luck with that. It means not modifying the program a bunch before you even have tried it the way it's laid out. That's what it means to come all the way in and sit all the way down. We have an acronym that encapsulates it. It's JFTFP. Just follow the friggin' plan. JFTFP. Just follow the friggin' plan. That's what it means to come all the way in and sit all the way down. Kimberly Jacobs says, my husband spends $250 per month on semaglutide, so $500 is like whatever. It's true. And your husband's getting the semaglutide for a steal because it's $1,300 a month for Wegovy, the weight loss version of it. So his insurance must be covering a lot of it, and that's the copay. Yeah, yeah, it's true. And Bright Line Eating gives equivalent results, like by the numbers, the same weight loss results. I should probably show the data on that. Should I I'll do that next time. Come to the next YouTube Live and I'll have the graph queued up of Bright Line Eating's weight loss results compared to semaglutide. Selket Miles says, yay for scholarships. I'm grateful. Face red heart shape. So sweet. Julie Nicholson says, hi there. So much to be thankful for. I've lost about 36 pounds and I've maintained most of it. Really, really eager and ready for a guide. Having lots of trouble finding one. Any help? I'm in San Francisco. Yeah, the best way to find a guide is to get on an accountability call and ask for one. We do, now I'm assuming you're a Bright Lifer. Guides are things that usually happen within the Bright Line Eating membership, the Bright Lifers membership. We usually assume people in boot camp don't need a guide. They just need to do the boot camp and sort of buddy up with their boot camp cohort, right? But once you're in Bright Lifers, if you need a guide, then there's two main places. You can go to the circle in the hub. There's a circle, which is in the connection and community area for finding a guide, or you can get on an accountability call and ask for one. Truly Packer says, how much does the boot camp cost? $497. Amy Burry says, hey, Susan, I've been in Brightline Eating since 2019, and I'm maintaining a 140-pound weight loss, which is great. You saved my life. Two things I've been struggling with lately. Just wondering your thoughts. Number one, feeling kind of down about being the only one who eats differently than everyone else in my circle. Number two, being kind of bored in maintenance with no more weight loss wins to celebrate. Related to my number two, my lines got wobbly, and I think it was so I gained weight so that I could lose it again. I also still struggle with being able to tell I'm full. I'm autistic and I struggle with interoception. So, hey, Amy, first of all, congratulations on your amazing, massive weight loss. Yes, on number one, being the only one who eats differently than everyone else in your circle, that's why you need more Brightline Eating friends. Because if you have a bunch of Brightline Eating friends in your inner circle, they all eat like you. And you're very wise to notice it's hard to keep doing something that everyone in your circle doesn't do, right? Socially, we're not built that way. And this is why the Brightline Eating community is so important. So my thought on number one is maybe one of your commitments for 2024 is to spend more time being connected in the Brightline Eating community. That means the Gideon Games. That means doing our courses with a study buddy group, right? We've got Reboot Resume happening, which sounds like exactly where you need to be as a Bright Lifer. Reboot Resume is starting January 12th in the Bright Lifers membership, and sign up for a study buddy group to go through Reboot Resume together. That will help with the wobbles of your lines, and that will help you feel more supported and connected in the community. And then after Reboot Resume, I suggest you do Bright Foundations with a study buddy group as well, because those maintenance courses, that's exactly what we talk about in those maintenance courses, is how not to fall into the trap that you're identifying. And I think you're so wise to identify it, of tinkering with our food and gaining and losing small amounts of weight just so that the food and the weight can stay the focus of our life. That's a travesty. That's absolutely the opposite of the whole point of Brightline Eating. The whole point of Brightline Eating is to free you up so that you don't have to think about your food and your weight anymore, and you can get on with the business of giving your gifts fully to the world, right? So, yeah, it's time to really look at all this, which you are. Thank you for bringing these very important questions here. Very important questions. Okay. I want to circle back to our Canadian, I think your name was Sylvie, about PayPal credit. So keep in mind, some Canadian banks will have a 0% APR offer that they will activate if you call and ask them. So you could get one of those credit cards, put on the bootcamp, and have 0% APR for a while to pay it off yourself. And two people who couldn't do PayPal from Canada last time let us know that they were successful in contacting their credit card holders and asking if they had any 0% credit APR promo periods. So that's just a suggestion for you. Mary Tudela says, I hesitated going into boot camp, but it has been the best experience. My blood sugars have never been so low and steady. I highly recommend it. Mary, congratulations. You got so much out of boot camp because you put so much into boot camp. Well done. Fist bump. Awesome. Lisa, Osowski, Lisa Osowski. Hey, Lisa. She says, hi, Susan. My Brightline Eating plan contains 20 ounces of veg and 18 ounces of fruit per day. That translates into eating 456 pounds of veg and 410 pounds of fruit in 2023. Talk about a brain and gut healing protocol. Thank you, SBT. Lisa, that's amazing. That's so great. That is so great. Yeah, I'm not far off of that. I actually eat more veg than that. Is that right? Yeah, I eat 12 and 12. So I eat 24 ounces of veg a day, 6 ounces of raw and 6 ounces of cooked at lunch and dinner. So that's 24 ounces a day. But I only do two fruits a day. So I have only 12 ounces of fruit a day. But yeah, and people wonder, like, I'm about to turn 50. I don't feel 50. That's amazing, right? It's good for the brain, good for the body, good for the skin, good for the mind, good for the heart, good for the soul. Um, Kate Ferris wants to tell the other cat, Annie, that her cat Merida will be joining in boot camp as well. We've got a kitty contingent in boot camp. They can be kitty buddies. So sweet. Gwen, cool, says, does boot camp fill up quickly? I plan to register tomorrow, but I'm worried there will not be room. I had a C. diff infection where I was not hungry for the first time in my entire life for about a month, and it was the most freeing feeling. I can't wait for this to work for me. Gwen, I do think that boot camp registration opens tomorrow. Is that right? Yeah, boot camp registration opens tomorrow. Um, and registration will stay open. Registration will stay open for a few days. You will be okay. You will be okay. Um, as long as you register tomorrow, yeah, you'll be totally fine. Khadija Iman says, hi, Dr. Peirce Thompson. Thank you so much. I have two questions. Number one, may I have kosher dill pickles with Brightline eating? Yes, you may. You can count them as a vegetable and just weigh them with your vegetables. And number two, how does Brightline eating work during Ramadan when I'm fasting from sunup to sundown for 30 days? How does one become a Bright Lifer and create an account for the BLE app? I will register for Bootcamp 2.0. Khadija Aman, nice to meet you. When you sign up for the boot camp tomorrow, you will get a username and password, and that's what you use to sign up for the app. Okay. Um, and I have a lot of experience with the type of fasting you're doing because I was a Baha'i for 20 years. And we had a Baha'i month of fasting that was 19 days with the same rules as Ramadan. No food, no drink from sunup to sundown. And I actually have shot some vlogs on that. Here's what ended up working for me. I ended up waking up very early for dawn, pre-dawn prayers, and I would eat a very, very, very large meal before the sun rose, and I would drink a lot of fluids. So, what I would recommend for you is essentially eat breakfast and lunch before sunrise and drink a lot of fluid, and then eat your dinner after sunset and drink a lot of fluid. I would start with that plan. Um, yeah. And I always found the month of fasting to be the best time. I actually left the Baha'i faith in about 5 years ago in about 2018, and I miss the fasting. I really do. It's the thing I miss the most. It was a very, very beautiful spiritual time. Marlene Baldwin McCann says, Susan, can you share your percentage of success for those that do the program and keeping their excess weight off long term over 2 years versus the general success of other programs? Marlene, come back to the next YouTube live and I will show graphs of percentages and so forth. Great question. Jody in Australia says, any suggestions for motivation to stay bright? Example, vision boards, photos, meditations, mantras, food diary, etc., etc. Instagram accountability, food pics, support team. I don't recommend any of that. I really don't. I think keep it one day at a time, and all the motivation you need will be inside the boot camp and inside Bright Lifers. I think dive into the program and surround yourself with the community, connect up with people, get buddies, get into a mastermind group. That's where the motivation will come from. Build your community of support and you will stay co-motivated together. Really look for the winners and stick with the winners. Look for people who want it, who are eager to succeed with it, and and showing up and being vulnerable and sharing their honest thoughts and feelings and experiences on the path. Those are the people I don't mean winners like people who lose the most weight in the first week. I mean, the winners are people who actually are present and willing to be vulnerable and willing to go all in on it. That's where your motivation will come from. Just follow the fabulous plan and build your support inside the boot camp. Evelyn Williamson says, question, can I use my lunch serving sizes for dinner and vice versa? Thanks. Yeah, Evelyn, if you just swap them and keep them that way permanently, what I don't want you to do is be changing it willy-nilly day over day, because then you're back to thinking, which way am I going to do it today? No, you want it to be automatic. So if you want to flip it now permanently and keep it that way, great. Mac McGowan says, I have a scholarship for this boot camp. So grateful for the opportunity. I'm apprehensive and excited. I need to lose 90 pounds. Mac, congratulations. So much love. So much love. I know those scholarships were super competitive. You must have written a very compelling essay. And I'm just excited for you. I'm excited for you, my dear. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Bright Line Eating Boot Camp. Brilliant. Princess Pamela's World says, how much will it cost to join the BLE online program now? The boot camp is $497. Jennifer says, I plan to start on Monday, but I'm also joining boot camp. I plan to start on Monday, but I'm also joining boot camp. When boot camp officially starts, is it okay that I won't be on day one when the course officially starts, right? My day one will be Monday. All right, Jennifer, great question. I'm so glad you answered this question. For everyone who wants their day one to be on January 1st, you have about 5.5 hours of materials to get through tomorrow. So sign up early in the day and plan to spend all day tomorrow getting through the materials so that you can have your day one on Monday. It's hard to do, but you can do it. All right. You're just going to binge watch all the videos and get through all of it and then start your day one on Monday. And then Jennifer, it's absolutely okay that your day one won't be when the boot camp officially starts the following Saturday. That's fine. That's totally fine. Your day one can be whenever you want your day one to be. Khadija Iman says, awesomeness. Thank you so much for responding to me. I will review your vlogs. Yeah, just go to brightlineeating.com and click on vlog and then just type in fasting. And I've done some vlogs on fasting. Is the dinner salad 8 ounces salad inclusive of the 6 ounces of veggies, or are those separate? Those are separate. So you have both. You have 6 ounces of cooked vegetables and 8 ounces of salad. And if you want to do all cooked or all raw, that's fine too, because produce is produce. But you have both of those. So 14 total ounces of vegetables. I just want to be absolutely clear. I absolutely love you and your willingness to share your journey with us. Thank you. Claire Richardson says, I'm back after a year in the ditch and gaining all of my weight back. I'm ready, but my husband still doesn't understand. Thank you for being here for us. Claire Richardson, we have a new Boot Camp 2.0 that you're going to love. It's all new. And as part of that, we've got a bonus, a bunch of bonus materials for friends and family. There's a video he can watch. There's a pamphlet he can read, like literally a brochure, like the kind you get in a hospital waiting room or something, a brochure on Bright Line Eating, on how he can support you doing Bright Line Eating. And I recommend you have a conversation with him, and I give you a conversation script for it. Can someone on the team go, is that in the friends and family? Is it in the bonus, the Full Flourishing Life bonus? I know I did a vlog on it. Maybe that's easiest, Claire, is I just send you to the vlog. I think it's got the word partners in it. If you go to brightlineeating.com, click on vlog, and then in the search box, if you put in the word partner, the vlog is called Talking with Your Partner About BLE. Talking with Your Partner About BLE. And I literally underneath that vlog give you a conversation script to use where you literally are going to take notes on what you're going to say, and you're going to let him know that you want to have a conversation with him. And I predict it will go well. It may not. It may not, right? He might just hate bright line eating and never want to support you in it, and you're powerless over that. If that's his truth, that's his truth. But I really do think that with this kind of approach of the conversation, watch that vlog and then have the conversation with him. Um, it might really work. It might really work. And also keep in mind, you don't need him to understand, right? It's not his job to understand. This is your path. Deborah M says, for bean burgers or veggie burgers, one burger is a protein. When selecting a brand of veggie or bean burger, how many grams of protein should I have? No, Deborah, 4 ounces is a protein serving in bright line eating. 4 ounces is a protein serving. Um, and we do have an FAQ on veggie burgers. In terms of grams, I'd like to see it be, at least 8, 9, 10 grams, somewhere in there. At least. Anna E says, I have a chocolate addiction. It's my cigarette post-eating. I'm not overweight, but I need to change my diet for health as I am 52 years old. Is boot camp for me? It might be. It might be. You might want to take the quiz, Anna. The quiz at foodaddictionquiz.com. Foodaddictionquiz.com. Why don't you go take that quiz and then let me know where you score? Foodaddictionquiz.com. You might need to be fast. We're about to wrap up this YouTube live, but yeah, I would love to know where you score on the quiz. Basically, bright line eating is the best fit for people who are 7, 8, 9, or 10 on the quiz. It's a scale from 1 to 10. Foodaddictionquiz.com. Justin DePolis Metz says, how is the content of the boot camp different than the content in the books? It is quite different. It is quite different. How is it different? Well, one of the things is that in the boot camp, we have panelist videos. These are bright lifers who've been doing bright line eating, succeeding with it, and they share their experience with you on a variety of the topics every week. And that means that in the boot camp, you're hearing from people other than just me. And that's important because people are actually genuinely different, right? And people have really different experiences. And hearing from a variety of perspectives expands and enriches your perspective, your experience in so many ways. There's also, it just goes into a lot more. It goes into a lot more, right? Like if you think about how long it takes to listen to the audiobook of, the book Bright Line Eating, boot camp, even the first boot camp, we only were able to put 40% of it into the first book. And now Boot Camp 2.0 is, the first book was written like, what was it, 7, 8 years ago it was written. And we have 7 or 8 years now of helping tens of thousands of people from around the world on this path. So when we overhauled the boot camp with Boot Camp 2.0, we just talk about things really differently now. There's a seasoning of our experience it's just not reflected in any of the books. It's just not reflected. There is a range and breadth of helpful tools in the boot camp that is just not available in any of the books. So for example, the tools for friends and family, right? The books don't provide that. In the boot camp, there's a video link that you can give to your friends and family who want to support you. There's a brochure that you can give to your friends and family who want to support you. There's tons of videos that you can watch yourself on how to navigate family situations, where in the book, I think we may have spent a page on it or something. Like in the boot camp, there's a whole range of support for you and for others around how to navigate the family dynamics, not to mention the online support community, the live coaching calls, all of the reality of trying to do this without support is super hard, right? I don't see people being successful with that much. So it's not just that the content is different, it's that the experience is different. It's sort of like, I often give the analogy of like, reading the book versus doing the boot camp is kind of like the difference of like watching a Disney movie versus going to Disneyland or Disney World, right? The whole experience is a whole different thing than just the two-dimensional experience of watching a movie. Although the movies are really good, right? But it's not the same as going to Disneyland. So I hope that helps, Justin. Um, okay. Uh, Elaine Lane says, please mention the London trip and the need for funds. And you mentioned bone broth, but I'm vegan. Is there a plant-based similar food? There's not, in that way, but you could do like the complement protein powder. Um, yeah. So, all right. Please mention the London trip and the need for funds. Let's do that. And thank you, Elaine, for bringing that up. We have not hit our goal yet. We haven't hit it. We're 75% there, but we're not all the way there. We still need money to, okay. So here's the deal. Thank you, Elaine, for bringing that up. So, one of my lifetime goals before I die is to get food addiction listed as a legitimate diagnosis in the DSM and the ICD. So the DSM is used in Australia and the United States and around the world primarily by clinicians and researchers because it's got very clear criteria for mental disorders and conditions. And the ICD is put out by the World Health Organization and gives general descriptions of not just mental disorders, but all sorts of diseases of all kinds, including physical diseases that aren't just mental as well. Um, Ultra processed food addiction needs to be in the DSM and the ICD. And when it is, tons of things will change. Insurance will have to cover it, treatment for it. More research will be able to be done on treatment for it. There will be services and also laws will have to change because targeting commercials to kids for ultra processed foods will now be akin to targeting commercials to kids for cigarettes or alcohol, which is not allowed legally, right? So our whole societal way of handling ultra processed foods will change. So there is a movement now around a group of about 20 international experts, and I'm one of them, to get food addiction listed in the ICD. We're strategically targeting the ICD first because I think that we've got some allies on the World Health Organization, at the World Health Organization, and I think we're likely to get it there first. And toward this endeavor, we're trying to raise money to support it because we need funds to pay the experts to hold the conference, to et cetera. And my team is going to find the link to donate. I shot a vlog about this a few weeks ago, and we didn't finish raising all the money. We only raised 75% of the money. I gave $2,000 of my own money. Oh, 2,000 pounds. It's in pounds. The link is added in the comments. My team just added the link to the comments. If you could give, we would be so grateful. We would be so grateful. It's in pounds. Sorry about that. It's because it's a British, the folks who are hosting the site, it's done in the UK. And there will be a conference with these experts speaking, and I'll be one of the speakers in London on May 17th. And I'll be putting out a vlog, but we need to raise the money. The conference can't even happen if we don't raise the money. We're still raising the money. But it'll happen. It'll happen. The conference will be on May 17th, and there's going to be a Bright Lifers gathering in London in the days after that, that weekend, that same weekend, and I'll be speaking there as well. So yeah, if you could click on that link and give, we would be so grateful. We didn't finish raising the money. I'm kind of bummed. It's the first fundraiser. We didn't crush immediately as a Bright Line Eating community. I think some of it was because the link wasn't fully visible to everyone beneath the YouTube video. So we just missed out on a lot of people like couldn't find how to donate. And then you know how people get, they get busy, they get distracted. And so by the time we'd fixed the visibility of the link, we'd sort of lost our chance to raise the big. It was also just, maybe not the ideal time. The vlog came out in early December when people were thinking about Christmas presents and all that. So anyway, yeah, if you could donate, it would be amazing. Elaine Lane says, I pray that you reach that goal. My doctor just prescribed me phentermine when I met with him to show him my BLE success. I was so disappointed. And no, I won't be taking this addictive medicine. Oh, my dear. Yeah, you're so right. We just need a new world we need ultra processed food addiction to be recognized and to be studied, and we need doctors' understanding to be elevated. Yeah. XLR Cables says, are all those tools still available after we complete boot camp? No, not necessarily. So the way it works is that your access to boot camp is during the boot camp. And then most of the people who complete the boot camp, like most by far, go on to become Bright Lifers. As long as you stay a Bright Lifer and stay in the membership, then your access continues on as long as you're a member. But after the boot camp, if you don't sign up for Bright Lifers, your login won't work anymore. You won't be a member. And so you lose access to all of the online materials. So that's how it works. Okay, so just a word here about Brightline eating and paying for it. If you have an HSA account or a flexible spending account, if you want to pay for the Brightline Eating Bootcamp out of that before the end of the year, if you have flexible spending dollars or health savings account dollars that you have to use up before the end of the year, register for the bootcamp tomorrow when registration opens, so you can file your receipt as part of your 2023 healthcare expenses. And all that you have to do is at some point in the next little bit, just get your doctor to write a letter of medical necessity for weight loss, which it's medically necessary for just about everybody, right? And you don't need to submit that to us or even to the IRS. You just want that on file just in case you get audited. But you can pay for the Brightline Eating Bootcamp out of your HSA or flexible spending dollars if you have them. Jewel Scholler says, should the quantity of food be reduced for people who are smaller framed? I'm only 5 feet tall. And Kim Rose says, I've wondered that too, Jewel. I'm 5 feet tall as well. I would say so here's the thing. You might think so. Not always though. So I would say try the food plan as it is, and you might find that you lose weight just fine. If you don't, then you can consider shaving, but I would not at all assume necessarily that because you're 5 feet tall, you might need less food. That will be something that you'll discover after the first, month or so on the food plan. Claire Richardson says, I'm stuck between choosing Reboot Resume and Bootcamp 2. Claire, I think the linchpin is, have you taken Bootcamp 2.0 before? If you haven't, I would do Bootcamp 2.0 because it's all new. It's amazing. And it's what pours the foundation for your whole Bright journey. So if you're floundering, if you're not bright, if you're wobbly, I think taking a beginner's mindset and going back to the beginning and doing Bootcamp 2.0 thoroughly is the way to go. If you've done Bootcamp 2.0, if you did it in June, for example, then I would say maybe do Reboot Resume. And let's see. Claire said, I've paid for boot camp and completed it before. Is there a similar charge for boot camp 2.0? Boot camp 2.0 is $497, and it's entirely different than boot camp. Every last bit of it is different. There's nothing the same about it from boot camp. Lisa Bernieri says, I'm ready to join the boot camp, but I'm traveling with family for the next few weeks. I feel like I'll need extra support for the first week or two until I'm back home. So Lisa, a couple things. One, you could sign up for boot camp and start when you get home. You could totally do that. There are always stragglers. You could buddy up with someone else who's starting late as well and go through it with them. You'll need to, at that point, join Bright Lifers at the end of boot camp so that you still have access. But you'll want to join Bright Lifers anyway. That's how you make this more than just a diet, right? You keep going with it. Or sign up and reach out to my team immediately and say you need support for traveling. And we've got people on the back end like Tracy Stroh, who can give you more support for traveling. Jackie Flack says, I pay for the monthly membership. Is the boot camp or other memberships you talk about included in that monthly fee? I've done this a year and I've done well, but I need the online support this year. Jackie, if you pay for the monthly membership that you got, in the past, you are legacied in, and yes, Boot Camp 2.0 is included in your membership. So you get to sign up tomorrow, go into the hub, and there should be something that you can click to sign up for the emails and so forth for the boot camp. Yeah, and it sounds like it's time to double down and do Boot Camp 2.0. Khadija Iman says, one last question. How does Bright Line Eating work with bariatric surgery participants? It works very well. It works very well. You might need to adjust the food plan a bit because you might find it difficult to eat the volume of food in just 3 meals. So you might need to make a 4-meal plan or a 5-meal plan. We offer that to you. You might have difficulty with raw vegetables after a bariatric surgery, so you might want to have all your vegetables cooked, things like that. And if you need support with that, just call in for coaching. XLR Cables says, what are the fees for Bright Lifers? If you sign up right after the boot camp, it's $3.99, and that's an annual. So $3.99 per year after that. And Princess Pamela's World says, can you join Bright Lifers without joining boot camp? If you've done boot camp before, even the prior boot camp 1, you can go right into Bright Lifers, but it's $4.97 a year. So it's more expensive. Okay. Jenny Partridge donated 100 pounds toward our endeavor to get food addiction listed in the ICD as a validated disease. Thank you so much, Jenny. She says, I donated 100 pounds. I wish it were weight, not money. Yep, exactly. That's kind of good, right? I'm donating 100 pounds. That's the language a lot of people use. I donated 100 pounds to the universe. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Khadija Iman, I am so excited to join boot camp and begin my bright life. Oh my God, you just brought tears to my eyes knowing that you're set on making sure that food addiction gets a DX code and is included in the DSM. Oh, beautiful, Khadija. I can't wait to welcome you to our boot camp tomorrow. Fabulous. Melanie Clardy says, I love Bright Line Eating. I'm down 70 pounds. Well done, Melanie. Fist bump. Amazing. Lisa Smith says, I'm about to hit my 1 year. I lost 83 pounds in 2023 with Bright Line Eating. Well done, Lisa. Woo. Jerry Robbins says, 5.5 years and counting. Holding 45 to 50 pounds down because goal weight is a range, not a goal number. Love and gratitude. Well done, Jerry. It's so great seeing you here over the years. Fabulous. Deborah M. says, I have been a Bright Line eater for 3.5 years. I have never left. I have never stopped. This program works. Woo! It's my food program lifestyle. Love it, Deborah. Beautiful. Sherry Miller says, I started Bright Line Eating in October, and I'm down almost 30 pounds already and 15 inches. And I love the freedom with my food. Thank you, SPT, for all you do. Sherry Miller, amazing. Well done. Colleen Robbins says, SPT, #1 fan, resume after hip replacement surgery. You must join this program. It is a life-saving move. Love you, Colleen. Well done. Well done. Audience Cindy Gulbranson says, lost 70 pounds in my first 6 months, and I've kept it off since then. Thank you, SPT. Well done, Audie. Kathy Rogers Says, I'm just finishing up boot camp. Everything offered, from the website to the modules to the coaching, is done with an amazing level of excellence. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. I'm so glad you found it to be so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Sherry King says, Bright Line Eating has my vote. It is the only way I was able to get into my right body. Now I have to make sure I stay that way. I lost 50 pounds in 6 months. I'm still weighing my food. Well done, Sherry. And Rebecca Dahl Sups says, Resume by SPT changed and saved my life. The words that hit me hard from the store about Lonnie. I'm just going to let the food take me. That moment was my aha. That was me 100%. Never again. So she's talking about this book here, Resume, which, yeah, it's an amazing book. I recommend it. She's talking about a story that I think it's right at the beginning of chapter 2, I believe. The chapter that's called Food Addiction is Real. Yep. Yep. The chapter Food Addiction is Real. That story about Lonnie. True story. All right, dears, we've come to the end here. So videos 1 and 2 are available now. Video 3 will be released in less than half an hour, everybody, less than half an hour. And I'll be here live on YouTube again on Monday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Tuesday night, I'll be doing a live webinar that you won't want to miss. It's all about how to orient toward your intentions and goals for 2024 so you don't get derailed. But mainly, bootcamp registration opens tomorrow. Bootcamp registration opens tomorrow. And if you want your day 1 to be Monday, you better be ready to dedicate 5.5 hours toward planning and preparation tomorrow, Sunday, and a run to the grocery store in there. So you got your work cut out for you. You got your work cut out for you, but you can do it, or you can start January 2nd or January 3rd. Like, who cares? Totally doesn't matter, right? Day 1 can be any day. So bootcamp registration opens tomorrow. So sweet to be here with you. Thank you for joining me for my very first YouTube Live. It was so sweet to be here together. Loving you so much. And yeah, signing off. Bye, everyone. See you again soon.